And one of the things they do is they stop eating. They lose a lot of weight.
You have a plastic chair, you have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker.
He ain't never did nothing. This what you want to put your brand on?
Diddy is being taken back to the Metropolitan Detention Center after he tried to fake a medical issue. Diddy was admitted to the Brooklyn hospital after he complained of an injury and told the guards he was depressed. Reports are now coming in, however, that Diddy lied about the entire thing and in reality just wanted to get out of jail.
On the conditions of confinement for anyone in our custody to include medical status or medical trips. The hospital visit allegedly took place hours after federal prosecutors filed a new criminal indictment against the rap mogul, accusing him of coercing 2 additional women into commercial sex acts. No additional charges are included in the new filing, as the original September indictment had referenced 1 female victim. His lawyer has accused the prosecutors of making a major error in the new indictment. In a statement to E! News January 30th, he says, quote, "The prosecution's theory remains flawed. The government has added the ridiculous theory that 2 of Mr. Combs' former girlfriends were not girlfriends at all, but were prostitutes." Diddy has denied all of the charges against him, and his trial is set to begin May 5th.
Diddy's court appearance this Monday was postponed after his lawyers told the judge that Diddy was facing medical issues. So far, Diddy's bail has been denied 3 times, and by now, Diddy knows that he's not getting out on bail. He still has one ace left up his sleeve, and that's faking a medical issue. Just a few weeks ago, leaked audio of Diddy came out where he was telling his son that he had a plan to get out of jail. Now he's out. Is that really a coincidence?
Sean Diddy Combs was expected to appear in court within the hour, but postponed just moments ago. It comes after reports that the music mogul was admitted to the hospital last week. Fox 5's Lisa Evers is live in Lower Manhattan with all of this. Lisa, so at this moment, what do we know?
Well, Bianca, this is a very fast-moving situation. Developments happening almost every single day. Seems as if every day there's some new piece of news about Diddy or his legal troubles. Now, this afternoon, he was scheduled to go before a judge here and have a hearing in one of the many civil cases that he's facing. But we just learned a short time ago that at the very last minute, that hearing naming Sean Diddy Combs in another legal issue with another legal issue in another civil suit was postponed at the very last minute, with no future date scheduled and no explanation. This is just one of the many questions, growing number of questions in need of answers. Now, last Thursday at the MDC, where he is currently incarcerated, my sources tell me that Diddy was taken from MDC, the Metropolitan Detention Center, about 10 at night to a nearby hospital for an MRI on his knee. Skeptics thought there must have been a fight or he was attacked at the prison that's considered one of the most dangerous in America. But sources insist he had a pain in his knee, possibly due to previous knee surgeries that he's undergone over the years. Now, the emergency hospital visit came just hours after federal prosecutors slapped him with a superseding indictment in his federal sex trafficking RICO case, adding 2 more victims and extending the time period for investigators from 2008 going back to 2004, meaning they have 4 more years in order to continue investigating possible additional allegations. Now, all of this taking place, as it seems every week there's another docuseries or documentary being cranked out about Diddy, which criminal defense attorneys who try cases in the Southern District here at the federal courthouse tell me can possibly taint potential juries that are going to hear this case when it gets going in May. Now, he will be back in the criminal case here in this courthouse in about 2 weeks.
Diddy was taken out of his jail cell in the middle of the night, while every other inmate has treatment scheduled in the morning. How is this allowed, especially after the judge ruled that Diddy was too dangerous to be let out? Diddy was already caught trying to call and threaten witnesses, and now he's being allowed to go out in the middle of the night for a medical issue that isn't even an emergency. Something isn't adding up here. Interestingly, Diddy has been trying to fake medical issues for months now. He first tried to starve himself and then pretended he had depression.
Detention Center in Brooklyn. It's where Diddy's been held since his arrest back in September. His team has tried multiple times for bail, but it's always been denied. So that's where Diddy has been for months now, but last week he was taken to the hospital. According to reports from the New York Post, Diddy was transported from MDC in the cover of darkness at about 10 p.m. on January 30th. He was taken to a Brooklyn hospital for an MRI after reporting issues with his knee. This actually isn't the the first time we've heard about Diddy's knee either. He's apparently had problems with it since 2003 when he ran the New York Marathon. He even had multiple knee surgeries back in 2017. In a now deleted Instagram post, Diddy shared this photo and wrote, quote, "Just had my final knee surgery. They said I'd never run again. I said the devil is a liar, 2 exclamation points. 3 surgeries in 1 year. Third time's a charm, 3 exclamation points, hashtag rebirth. Don't take the simple things in life for granted. Thank you to all the surgeons and docs and PTs. I thank God for y'all, and hashtag team love, hashtag thank you, hashtag God is the greatest." He also wrote, quote, "God puts us all through things for reason. It's up to us to learn through the things that he puts us through. Sometimes you have to go through the pain to get to the joy. This journey has brought me closer to God, closer to my family, and most importantly, closer to myself, as this has been God's will." So apparently Diddy's knee has been bothering him recently, so he reported it. At some point, it was decided that he needed medical care outside of the jail, so he was taken to a Brooklyn hospital. He was only gone for a couple of hours and came straight back to MDC after his MRI was finished. Diddy's attorney Mark Agnifilo told TMZ, quote, "I cannot comment on anything related to prisoner movements. Also, I'm not commenting on anything related to possible medical issues." A statement from the Federal Bureau of Prisons was released too. It says, quote, "For privacy, safety, and security reasons, we do not comment on the conditions of confinement for anyone in our custody, to include medical status or medical."
Warden at the Metropolitan Detention Center, Dr. Dwayne Hendrick, is also shocked at how Diddy was allowed to leave without following proper protocol. Medical procedures are scheduled weeks in advance, and inmates are sent out during the day. High-profile inmates like Diddy need prior authorization, but in this case, everything was done in the middle of the night. Who is Diddy planning to meet at the hospital? And is he trying to get out on the basis of a fake medical issue?
MRIs and x-rays and things of that nature, they're on a normal work schedule, between, the normal business hours of maybe 10 o'clock and maybe 6 p.m. So in that case, this was a little bit different, getting him outside the facility in the late evening hours to do just, possibly a basic MRI.
Yeah, I was thinking about the timeline too, because I don't ever recall going to the doctor at 10 p.m. at night. As you said, it's usually 9 to 5, 10 to 6 kind of vibes. But for P. Diddy, I can kind of understand why it was at 10 p.m. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking they decided to do this because he's such a high-profile name that they wouldn't want to draw attention to it. I mean, this is an unassuming Thursday night around 10 p.m. Could that be why they decided then to go to the hospital?
Yes, and also, for a couple of reasons, staff, many correctional agencies are short-staffed, so you're taking someone out with this high-profile person such as P. Diddy. Just the nature of who he is going to cause a serious security concern, because you're going to need to be able to stave off, onlookers, fans, media, and the like. And then you also got to think about the security of the hospital and their operations. People there to try to get better. You have families there to visit their loved ones. And the last thing you need is somewhat, a chaotic environment that's causing concern with security. And also, most people don't know this, but he's actually under the primary custody. He's a what we call a U.S. Marshals inmate, because he's on pretrial status. So the Bureau, the agency, the Bureau of Prisons oversees, the operations with overseeing the inmates on a day-to-day basis. However, when they're in the hospital for an extended period of time, if there's no deal worked out between the local institution and the local marshal's office, it would be the marshal's responsibility to take custody of that particular inmate. And and if he does have issues with his legs, is he walking with a limp? Does he have does he have a cane or anything like that? So yeah, I think that would be the reason why that they would make this, take this measure, which I've never seen in my career. Someone taken out to the hospital at this time of night for something as basic as an MRI.
Just listen to what Diddy himself had to say about his PL to get out. Diddy is planning to come after witnesses, and someone is pulling the strings from the shadows.